Welcome back to another News Channel 9 podcast. I'm your host, Augie Fox, and tonight we have a special guest, the Honorable Sam Robinson, Justice on State Supreme Court. The Honorable Sam Robinson, appointed by a Republican governor, Governor Charles Spencer, has been a judge for 13 years, serving the people of our state. Thank you for joining us.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Augie.
You're welcome. Thank you for being with us. Well, before we begin, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, Your Honor?
A little bit about me. Well, I'm 50 years old. I have 3 children. Well, actually, there was 4, but they're all grown up by now. There was Bob the First. He is now a lawyer. Bob the Second. He's a doctor. Bob the Third. He's a McDonald's manager. And Bobette. Sadly, Bobette, she was killed by a flying hippo turtle. Brings tears to my eyes, but I'm on life, so I need to hold myself together. My wife, Kathleen Robinson, is a retired judge. We met working together, and I like to fish and go boating, and the occasional catching the surf at the beach.
I'm very sorry for your loss, Mr. Robinson. That's really hard. I understand. I lost my pet gerbil once. But back to the question at hand. Question number 1. How is your role in government different from elected official?
Thank you for your consideration, Augie. To answer your question, I never have to think about what the people's opinion is of me, while elected officials do. Though the population may have valid points, my job isn't to worry about what they say. My only job is to make sure that the Constitution is upheld, and that is what I will do.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Moving on to question 2. How is your role the same as elected officials?
Well, Augie, to answer that question, I do, like elected officials, make decisions that affect the whole population under my jurisdiction. The verdicts I pass and decisions I make all have an impact on the surrounding areas, whether this is through public policy changes, laws having amendments, or convicts punished.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Okay, well, we'll be right back, folks, for more questions with the Honorable Sam Robinson right after this commercial break. Welcome back. That was an informative commercial. So we are back with our special guest, the Honorable Sam Robinson. And on to the next question, Sam. Do you think judges should be elected?
Augie, I strongly believe against the idea of electing judges for a multitude of reasons. As I stated before, excluding me and other judges from elections helps us to focus on our work. Some would say that elections of judges would increase the checks and balances on the judiciary branch. In reality, it would decrease the checks and increase bad rulings. Society changes, and with it their beliefs and standings. Laws don't change and stand firm throughout time. If the people are allowed to change laws, then the state of this union will be endangered. Augie, also, think about this. If the people are the ones who are voting for us and they're getting their ways, why would they want to check and balance us? Why would they want us to stop what we're doing if we're doing what they wanted us to do? Now, what the people may want us to do, Augie, does not have to be law if they elect. And we are supposed to be upholding the law, not the people's standards. So, I am against judges being elected.
Wow, Sam, you are so smart. On to the 4th question. Could you tell our audience, what is judicial review?
Well, Augie, judicial review occurs when judges, like myself, rule laws and policies unconstitutional. therefore prohibiting them to function. This can happen just inside the court for that specific case, or in the law or policy forever. But please note that a new law can be made that fixes the problems with the prohibited one and can replace it.
Okay, last question. Please explain the rule of judicial review in a case you recently decided on.
Glad to, Augie. In my most recent case, I was faced with the task of determining whether playing music loudly from one's car is a violation of the city ordinance. Obviously, this was clearly a violation of the city's noise ordinance. However, the real problem lay within the city ordinance. The offender, who I will call John Doe so that his privacy may be kept, pushed the idea that the city ordinance was unconstitutional because it violated the right to free expression. I pored over the case files, the city ordinances, and the Constitution. My searching uncovered the facts needed for the ruling. The Constitution does say that we have the freedom to express ourselves. Yet, blaring music from your car does not express your beliefs, ideals, ideology, or ideas. It only is a preference. Therefore, the city ordinance is, in this case, constitutional, since blaring music is not protected by the Bill of Rights or any other such documents. So, that would be an example, Augie.
Wow. Thank you for being here with us, Your Honor Sam Robinson. We are glad to have had you with us. Well, folks, we hope you've enjoyed this podcast. Thank you for listening, and tune in next time to hear from our next speaker, President Donald J. Trump. So, we hope to hear from you soon, and stay tuned for a sneak peek of the next podcast.
On next week's podcast.
Mr. Trump, what do you think about the wall?
It's gonna be huge! Huge, I tell you! Huge!